And I want to ask you about another performer that everybody's talking about on the other side of Forbidden Door. Of course, I'm talking about Will Ospreay. This was a home game for him. He got a hero's welcome. He was on top of the cage, the entire crowd chanting along with him, his entire name. I mean, what a moment, what a visual that is if you're watching with us over at grillingjr.com. I'm really glad he got this moment.
Me
And I
too.
say that because we know he's about to have a pretty major neck surgery. And I thought it was really cool that he was able to come out and say, I've got people in WWE that I've never met before in my life that have reached out because of this neck injury. And they've gone, quote, hey, if you need a doctor or if there's any questions that need to be answered, end quote, every single one of them are super lovely. And I wish them all the best. I really do. That's a quote from an interview that Will Ospreay gave recently. And I think that just goes to show you that, hey, tribalism may exist with fans online and on Twitter, but in real life, man, this is a band of brothers. And when somebody's got a major neck surgery like that, that's going to get everybody's attention, isn't it, Jim?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's so over. It's not even funny. He's so over. It's not funny. And that's bad news for me. He's going to be out for a while. How long I don't know. I don't know the severity of his neck injury, but anytime somebody says neck injury, you can count your ass as serious, especially in this line of work. It's like having a bad back or something. It's tough. So, but he's over. I can tell you that. Of course, he had a home field, as you said, he had a home field advantage. It was
Yeah.
a big home game for him, and the audience. I'm not. This may not be fair, but I think the audience primarily came to see him. I think he was the overwhelming crowd favorite, and he's beloved there. It's just too bad he's going to be off the line, so to speak. But he's a hell of a performer. I can tell you that. You could feel the love for him legitimately from that audience, and the results were like as you said. We set a record, and that was wonderful. Good for the talent. This is a tough trip for those guys because they wrestled two or three times before the O2. So it was it was quite the experience for me. I had other than the travel, it was wonderful. The card was good. Talents worked their ass off. Uh, I was proud of all those guys and gals. So in any event, it was a hell of an experience. I'm sure glad I got booked. I'm glad I got to go. Uh, we kind of started my assignment where I was going to do the battle royal, the cage match, and I'm glad we did. I enjoyed the hell out of that match. And then what else did I do? I did.
Did you do Hangman Adam Page and MJF?
I don't remember.
Hey, let me ask you about that. I think a lot of people were tuned into that. I mean, those are two AEW originals, the quote
Yep.
unquote homegrown stars. And
Yep.
it did look like at one point Bryce Remsburg counted 3 for Hangman Adam Page, but somehow, some way, Hangman gets the win. He retains. He's still the central figure in AEW. And as you and I are recording tonight, they're going to be in Philadelphia in the old 2300 Arena. It used to be known as the ECW Arena. I can't wait to watch that. I'll be watching live. And I was watching live when I saw Tony Storm beat Athena. And even when I saw Okada beat Swerve Strickland. You and I are fans of both of those guys.
Yeah.
The rumor and innuendo is that Swerve is going to have surgery. It looked like they did some sort of an injury angle with him and Prince Nana. But Wardlow returned, and I know that he was a favorite of yours once upon a
Yeah.
time. How pumped were you to see Wardlow back in
I
action?
was surprised. I didn't see him all day back in the locker room area, whatever. I didn't see him all day, uh, and so it was a surprise, but a pleasant surprise. He looks great. He's a good kid, man. He's a class act. He hasn't been in the pro wrestling business long enough to develop all those lousy habits. Uh, but I also heard, Swerve's not 100%. I don't know how bad his injury is or what, but it's not good news. We didn't come out of the event unscathed injury wise. Those guys all work at a breakneck pace. They work a little snug. I'm sure for a lot of fans love that. I love it, but I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and that's kind of how we left. We left. I like the. I flew back with Adam Copeland. There were 2 or 3 of us on that flight. we flew from back home. We flew from London to Charlotte, and then connected in Charlotte back to Jacksonville. So a lot of flying, and boy, when your flights screw up, you can't catch up. You're kind of at the mercy of the of your airline. And I flew on American on the way back, and they did a good job. But boy, going over was the worst I've ever experienced as far as getting to some place to go to work. Tough, boy. It was a tough trip.
Kyle Fletcher was pretty tough in his win over Takahashi. It feels like he is in line for an Ospreay level push at some point. Kenny Omega was the man, and Ospreay's been the man, and a lot of people think Kyle Fletcher is next. Would you disagree with that, Jim?
Not really. He's positioned well.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's who Tony Khan's going to ride with for a little bit, at least one portion of the push, as we say. So it was he's a good talent. He's a good young talent. He's in good shape. He seems to be healthy, and anymore that's a commodity. So we got some real good young kids that are developing rapidly, and I'm proud of Kyle. He's a good kid. I hadn't heard a bad word from him or about him or whatever. He's a good kid. He's mature beyond his years, and a very talented kid. I like his work, and I like him.
I liked Bozilla. My first time seeing Bozilla from Stardom. She, of course, is the daughter of former ECW legend Ulf Herman. He was certainly a German wrestler and a lot of European matches through the years. Bozilla, man, she stood out to me in a major way. I know you've always liked the big guys. What'd you think about the big gal? I thought it made for an entertaining four-way with Mercedes Moné and Alex Windsor and others. What'd you think?
I'd say it was entertaining. She was fresh. She was new. She's not overexposed, and she's going to get better and better. One would assume. Her dad was there all day, just to kind of, I don't want to say babysit, but to innocent father, and she was getting a hell of an opportunity, and she added to the presentation. I'm not saying she's a great worker because she's still green and young, but she was a nice addition to the card, I thought.
I thought Mercedes Moné had a terrific performance. I loved her entrance. I loved her gear. And I thought her selling in this really made her stand out. I thought it was one of her better performances we've seen in AEW so far. And I was excited to see Nigel McGuinness take off the headsets and strap on some wrestling boots. He got a shot at the world champion, Zack Sabre Jr. And they had a couple of UK legends ringside. How fun was it to see Marty Jones? I mean, that was a neat moment for AEW, wasn't it?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with them in the afternoon. I met them through William Regal back in the day, and they helped train Regal back. You know, when I learned that Regal originally got into business there in Blackpool because he wanted to be a comedian, and then he's a hell worker, good man. He's an addition, a positive addition to anybody's company, as he's showing now in WWE. But yeah, those are guys. I was glad they were there, and I'm glad I got to spend some time with them and make them feel welcome. And it was just a positive experience. I like to see those old guys get the respect and a welcome back. And you know, they were great. They like catering. We all like catering, but food on the road is daunting. But they did a good job visiting with the talents, and I directed a lot of talent to them to go meet them and thank them for being here. And they delivered for what they were supposed to do, just to be a PR guy, be friendly and talk to some of these young kids. A lot of kids didn't have a clue who they were, but some did, and they were very honored and proud to be associated with those two guys, because they were two of the great legends in UK wrestling history. And I like those old guys getting their flowers, because they're not going to have a lot more opportunities. But they were very happy to be there and felt very honored. They felt very respected, more importantly. So it was cool. Marty is known as one of the greatest of all time. And both guys, so are valued members of the wrestling community. And I'm glad that we got a chance to honor them a little bit. They got some TV time. That was cool. So it was all in all, Conrad, things like that made the show special and different. And it was a good situation.
SaveWithConrad.com.
My name is Rajiv. I'm in Sacramento, California. I came to Save with Conrad because I've heard Conrad talk about how he helps people all the time save money and the best route to go for getting some mortgages and finances done. And having heard so many different testimonials in the past, it made the most sense to go this route. We were in the market for a new house and we wanted to know what we could afford. So we spoke with Steve and then Diane to get through the pre-approval process to see what we could afford. And then once we were able to understand that aspect of it, that was when we were able to shop around for a house to get a mortgage through Save with Conrad. Everybody on the team was great. Everybody really explained everything fully to where it was more in like layman's terms to where I could understand it as someone not in the business or having shopped around for houses too many times. So being able to understand every step of the process and talking with everyone on the team about that was really, really helpful. And it made me feel really confident that I was going the right route. I would definitely recommend Save with Conrad to others. I know that sometimes people look at it and they go, oh, they're based in Alabama, what could they help me with? But I'm out here in California and they were able to square everything away and get things done really quickly, as opposed to sometimes even people out here don't move as quickly as the Save with Conrad team. So everything was really well done, really efficient, and I would definitely recommend Save with Conrad to others. My name is Rajiv. I'm in Sacramento, California, and I was able to get into my dream home with SaveWithConrad.com.
That's number 212, non-equal housing lender. SaveWithConrad.com.